Price has been set for Matthias de Ligt and Mazraoui. We've heard rumours. We thought we talked about this before. When looking back, I realised, no, we haven't really. They haven't made it known exactly what they want for both players. Manchester United keen to move on Matthias de Ligt because of injury issues and wanting to be ready for the season. Obviously, we know that Mazraoui is coming soon. Is this going to hold up Mazraoui, though? We're going to talk about that as well. How much it is it worth it? What are the complications within? I want to touch on the injury records of Mazraoui as well, because I've not really spoken about that, and that is quite significant as well. A new role for Mason Mount as Erik ten Hag promotes midfielders into strikers, because Manchester United are so desperate for forwards right now. We've got no one to put the ball in the back of the net, as we can see from the last 2 seasons and obviously through pre-season, but Ten Hag has got a plan, and let's get into everything else that's going on in the transfer market with every other update we can possibly find out there right now. Well, Manchester United are just arriving back in the country. This is Forever United TV. Welcome along to your popular Sunday evening show, everybody. Give the video a like. 600 likes I would like, please. It's easy, it's free content, and please do hit that subscribe button while you are in the room as well watching. You know you enjoy it, so you might as well stay up to date by subscribing and hitting that bell notification, guys. I thank you all. Let's get into what is going on with Manchester United. How are we all doing, by the way? Hope you're all fantastic. Hope you've enjoyed the weekend. Obviously, United playing this weekend. It's not been the best watch. It's not been the best pre-season. To be honest, pre-season is a bit of a sham. Honestly, I've never been excited about I'm excited to see new players, but with what happened to Lenny Yoro, I think that completely killed it for me. The Euros completely killed pre-season or any excitement of bringing any new players. It's been a damp squib. Really, it's been horrendous to watch and deal with. It's been a big PR and commercial stunt. It's a waste of time. All we seem to get is injuries out of it. And we don't get any consistent sort of performance because we're chopping and changing the team constantly, because Ten Hag is trying to find a way to make what he's got work, because there's a lot of players that don't want to leave United. And Manchester United right now need players to go so we can bring players in, because we need to meet targets that other clubs that are selling players we want, and we need to give them what price they're asking, because Bayern are not moving. We discussed it this morning. And now there is a price set on Matthias de Ligt and Mazraoui's head as a combined price. So we found out the other day that Mazraoui was coming in. It looked like United were separating the two deals. Okay, fine. On Thursday, Ornstein broke the news about him being a package deal. It's going from package to single to package to single. For God's sake, just buy the bastard players, United, and get this done. Or walk away, whatever you want to do. Just end it now, because I think we're all a little bit tired. Because we are entering the season, and we're probably going to start our first game with no new signings in the starting lineup unless something happens this week. And you know what? If Mazraoui comes in and Matthias de Ligt come in, knowing Ten Hag, even if they arrive this week, we probably won't start them anyway. But we do need to see some new faces in there. Squad depth is massive. I've got a wasp again in the room, guys. Sorry. Wasp attack. Wasp attack. I've got shorts on as well. He might go down there and try and sting me now. I don't know. Might get the wig out to try and smack him. I don't know where that's come from. It's a warm day in England. But I've got my mate Spider out in the top. I think he might try and swallow him up. He's already moving around. So, yeah, let's see what happens. I'll keep you posted on that. But back into United, Matthias de Ligt and Mazraoui. So Bayern Munich, as you can see at the bottom of your screen there, the tweet is basically from Fabrizio Romano earlier on. It says, if Manchester United want to sign both Matthias de Ligt and Mr Mazraoui, then the total package is 59.6 million. Both are expected to be United players this summer. Honestly, I don't think it's that much. I don't know what you guys think. I mean, that would put it at what, like 45 million for Matthias de Ligt and 15 million for Mazraoui? I don't think that's too bad for a 26 and 25-year-old. I really don't think it's bad at all. Let's take everything out of the equation in terms of history, injuries and everything like that. And obviously, it does play a part in it, which is why I want to separate the show and bring up that next in the discussion with you guys. But still, when you look at the players' age, you look at the quality of the players, where they've played, the level that they're at, are they better than what United have got? You could say yes, definitely, quality-wise, possession ball base-wise, like we discussed earlier. Everything that Ten Hag wants to play, his style of football, is there in Mazraoui and Matthias de Ligt. So 59.6 million, just under 59.6 million, just under 60 million quid for both of these in. I don't see how United are having an issue with this. I think that's fair price. I do. I think it's fair price, but I just look at it and go, really? The news coming out after that is that Manchester United actually won't agree that fee. They want to pay less. Oh, they're paying some hardball, aren't they? And do you know what? I think it's like, I'm like you lot. I can see the chat right now. I can see the frustrations with everybody in terms of nothing happening, no more players coming in. We're stuck with the same players entering the start of the season. I get it. I do. I get the frustration. I get where we're at. I understand everybody not being completely happy with where we're at. But half of me is like, do you know what? Oh, then honestly, I'm arguing with myself in my head right now. Before I came on live, I was like, players in or stand firm and not be ripped off again. What is the greater good? And I look at it and I go, greater good is Manchester United standing firm and not being ripped off. If Bayern want a certain price, United don't want to pay it. You hold your ground and say F off to the big guns. We're back. We're Man United. We're not going to pay what you want to pay, what you want us to pay. We're not going to just jump at the first time you click your fingers. We're going to haggle our way in and just get the deal that we want to do. We want this being a United deal. They've done it with the previous two signings already. But then, obviously, like we said earlier on, like we were talking earlier on, I feel like I am flip-flopping myself at the moment as a fan. I'm like, I don't want to see Lindelof and Maguire. I want someone new in. But are we busting a gut just to make sure we get players in that really, when you look at it, and which is what I want to move into next, are a bit of a concern still? And a concern I mean by saying, like, look, we've got Mazraoui, who over the last 3 years has got a worse injury record than Eric Bailly. That is a concern, a massive concern. We know our concerns with Matthias de Ligt, his knee problem, which a lot will say isn't as bad, and he's built up to be more than what it is. Like, he's consistently getting over 30 games a season. You know, it's not the end of the world, especially when you've got the likes of Martinez and Euro for most of the season. That's not bad. I'm all right with that. Mazraoui won't be used every single week, so really, not too bad. But realistically, right now, when you look at it, all Manchester United fans are praying to get these two deals over the line, and they're not even going to come into the first team. It's like, yeah, that's great. Woo, signings, fantastic. They're not even first team players. Is this how desperate we are? Is this how desperate Manchester United really are, fan-wise, in this fan base, to actually get a deal, any sort of deal over the line right now? Honestly, I look at it and I go at the price and I go, hang on a minute, them two are not actually coming straight into the first team. And then I look at it and I'll go, well, when this window started, I was like, Manchester United need to be buying players that are playing. They are first team players. They're going right into that team. I look at it and I go, all right, Joshua Zirkzee, Euro warranted, yes. Joshua Zirkzee is not guaranteed first team. Euro, I would say, yeah. Would you guys say yeah? I don't know, actually. You let me know. Like, going through the signings right now, I look at it. I think Euro, definitely. 100%. That's what United want. Next to Martinez, they want him to grow into that role as an important centre-back at Manchester United. The ceiling is not there. Like, it's the ceiling is the sky with Lenny Euro and the quality that he's got. So I can see that. I understand that, right? That's one signing in that's going to strengthen Manchester United's side. So United have got rid of Rafael Varane, and we've brought in a replacement for him. Everything else is not a first-team player. So I say, like, you know what? I'm not looking at this as a negative either, by the way, guys, because I like de Ligt and I like the Mazraoui signings. I like the Zirkzee signing. So let's look at it this way and just go, should United be absolutely tearing a new one and busting a gut to get these players over the line and pay what Bayern want? Or should we be playing hardball? I have to look at it like from both sides. You know, I love the word balance. I'm trying to balance this argument out from Inos' side to the fanbase side to Ten Hag's side. Ten Hag wants de Ligt in simply because he needs to get a good start to the season. Honestly, right now, I've got no confidence in Johnny Evans, Victor Lindelof, or Harry Maguire in the way that they're playing. I think we'd all just Manchester United fans, hand on heart, are we confident that them three players are going to get off to a cracking start? get off to a cracking start this season. Like, hit the ground running. No, we're not. Like, I fear for Johnny Evans. I feel like every time he walks out on the pitch, he's like me right now. If I walked out and trained or played football like I am doing, I feel every single joint, nut, cranny in my body aching like shit, honestly. And the levels and expectation and what Manchester United put these players through to be a professional football at the top level is on a different stratosphere in it as well to that. So I look at that and I go, I'm not confident in any of them. Can we get Harry Maguire on that pitch with Lisandro Martinez and get through this first few months of the season? Honestly, oh God, like, de Ligt is better than Maguire. I'll admit that. I think he is. I think he's a better player. Personally, where he is now, that means. Like, if you put de Ligt and Maguire together at the same age, time of their career, you could argue, because Maguire has had a decent career, what anyone likes to say. Like, at Leicester he was good, at Hull he was good. That's the reason he came through. And that first season at United, I don't think he was that bad either. He wasn't horrendous last season, but obviously they were pushing it last season. But honestly, looking at it, I still, when it comes down to the actual transfer itself, I go, why are we actually crying and bitching and moaning that we're not bringing any players in? When United, all we're trying to do is look at the long-term picture of things. It's not a case of just bringing anyone in. Like, I don't think Manchester United should be doing it. Like, I like the players, I like the strength in depth, but I'm looking at it and I'm like, really, we shouldn't be in this much uproar about not bringing players in. I don't think, anyway. We just got to look at... I understand the injury worries with Martinez, and if he goes, then, oh, God, yeah. I get that argument, and that's the other side of it, obviously. Wanting players in because Manchester United, realistically, are not good enough with what we've got already. And I said before, and I know everyone will say, Adam, you're contradicting yourself a little bit. I'm not. I'm just trying to bring in both sides of it here. So, looking at that, I go, I'm not confident. I don't think Maguire's good enough. I don't think Evans or Lindelof are good enough for a full season, that is. Like, Johnny Evans, for where he's at and what he's doing and covering where he can, is fantastic. Brilliant. Love him. But he needs to be fifth choice. Manchester United should have another two ahead of him in reserve and then two main centre-backs. So it's Martinez and Yoro, and then I think Maguire and one more, but we're not going to get it. And then Johnny Evans. So, de Ligt, sorry, that would be the one. So it's de Ligt, Maguire, Evans. It should be in that order, behind Yoro and Martinez. And obviously that comes through straight away right now because Yoro is missing for 3 months. But the point I want to make about this, and like Bayern Munich is setting their price for Manchester United and demanding a certain amount of money. I think Manchester United, realistically, are quite within their rights to say, sounds like a fair deal. No, I'm not going to pay it. We're not going to pay it. Like, we're looking to bring in players here that want to come to Manchester United. We'll wait. We'll wait it out. I do feel like this week, I think, is massive. Is massive for United. I think something will happen this week, personally. But I wouldn't be surprised, and I wouldn't probably be disappointed at this stage now of the transfer window if United took it all the way to deadline day and just said, look, we'll just deal with what we've got. The greater good is the longer picture, the big picture, rather than what's happening right now in the start of the season. Yes, it's important that Manchester United actually get off to a good start. I've said that. I still think it is for Ten Hag's sake. Ten Hag is still not going to be sacked, though, if he loses the first 3 games of the season. He won't get sacked. So you got to look at it and go, right, okay, if he's safe for that, and we're looking to give him another full season and see where he's at the end of the season. By the end of the season, Manchester United will have everybody, touching wood again, hope so, have everybody fit. Yoro will be back. Xerxes would have been fully integrated. We'll have a few more squad players in, hopefully, as well. And we move forward from there, I feel. I think that's what we should be looking at. Let's not forget, we don't just want these players for now and the start of a season. We want these players to be at the football club forever and a day. We want them to see out their 5 and 6 year contracts because they're playing well. They have to fit in. They have to be the profile or the character that Manchester United need. And I think everybody, just because nothing's happening right now, it was like this. I liken the situation right now to when the season finished and we're all waiting for the news on Erik ten Hag. It's like that. It's like in a couple of weeks, 3 weeks' time or so, when the transfer window shuts and everyone's in place. We'll all look back at this moment now at the start, the first week of August, going, we probably were a little bit desperate and we're shouting out for no real reason there. Because we've still got the deals done. The season's on. Everybody's moving in. So, yeah, I think that's the bigger picture of it. And you know what? You know what I'm like? I don't hide how I am or anything like that, how I feel. I just speak my mind, and I try and get your opinions on what I see and see if anyone sort of agrees with it. But I look at it and I go, and I've convinced myself always, consistently trying to think from everyone's side in all of it. The fans, the players, the manager. You've seen different videos here on FUTV constantly all the time, just about different angles. Like some people shouted me down when I said we have to think about the players' side of things and the families and moving house and kids settling down in schools and everything. It's not easy right now. The players have got a lot of power. Well, it's true. Whether you like it or not, if you think it's fair because they're paid millions, and you think I'm being soft for bringing it up, I just like to talk about it from the other side. And I think it's important that you get every single angle across that you possibly can. And that, I feel, is what is happening in a lot of these deals as well. So, yeah, personally, the situation, I'm not too far. I mean, I think it's an all right price. I do. But I also understand that United haven't got a lot of money to spend. And it's a big chunk of the budget going on two players that aren't, when you get into the depths of the season, first team players. You're buying squad players right now. And I know squad depth is important, but realistically, every United fan knows that we need better first team players. And you have to give a little bit of sympathy for the new recruitment team, Dan Ashworth, Wilcox and Inos, and what they're doing with the players that they are struggling to get out because of what the Glazers have done before. Ed Woodward, Murto and co have done before. It's an impossible situation. And I just think we need to just keep that clear. It may sound like I keep droning on about that, and I apologise if you think I'm trying to drive this whole love affair agenda about Inos. I'm not. I just look at what the situation is now, and I think it's fair to look at it as a bigger, wider picture in all of this. I'm going to come to your chat now, guys. So almost at 1,100 in the room, guys. Give the video a like. We've only got 200 and odd likes for over 1,100 in the room. This is fantastic, but I think the likes can go up, guys. So please give the video a like. Make sure you're subscribing to the channel. We're on the road to, what? We're nearly at 52,000 already. We only just passed 50. And we're, 108 away from the 52,000 mark, guys. So if you are watching, subscribe. We are flying right now. Come on, guys. Let's get into the chat. Let's scroll up a little bit here and stop it there. Daniel, I love the pressing against Liverpool, but it will take time for the players to get used to the pressing from the front. Fishing the Dream says, Adam, do you think we got enough up front, buddy? No, we never have. Honestly, mate, I think we're stuck up front. It's a pain. I'm going to talk about that in a minute, actually, buddy. So stay with us on that one, because that's on my list of things to discuss. And what Ten Hag has said regarding certain players already in the squad convinced me we're not going to buy another forward now. So, yeah, really interesting on that. 90% of our squad are injury prone. Andrew, I feel you, mate. I feel you. Honestly, it's a pain in the ass. And everyone moans at me for going on about no excuses and things like that. But good God, does anyone else have this injury issue right now but United? It is a fucking pain in the ass. It comes up in every discussion now. It's like every time a player goes to ground, I'm shitting myself because I think he's injured. When we buy a player, what's his injury record like? Oh, it's shit. Should we really be buying him? It's like injuries have taken over every single conversation and part of football. It's like, why is there so many injuries in football in general right now? Are we playing too many games? What's this player's injury record? Should we be looking at the complications of broken feet anymore? It's the metatarsal instead of a broken foot. His ligaments worse than bones. And oh my God. Like, what happened to good old-fashioned football? A magic sponge and a bit of DP, eh? I don't know. Football's gone mental, but I am a dinosaur, as kids keep reminding me constantly. Sat says, Maguire too slow, Lindelof too weak, Casemiro too old, Shaw injury prone, Bissaka crap on the ball, Mount spare parts at the wedding, Anthony one trick pony, Rashford no football IQ, welcome to the new season. Thank you, mate. Yes, I wish I didn't read that one out, mate, but truth hurts in a way, doesn't it? I'm a little bit more upbeat than what Sat is anyway, with the upcoming season. God, please perform on that opening day. I can only picture, and I said this earlier on, like what this United fan base is going to be like if United do an absolute stink fest against Fulham in the opening game. Good God, please don't. I can't handle it, honestly. The Muppet Show says, unless other teams swoop in and sweep the rug from under United, playing a risky game, playing a long game, plus players wouldn't be ready for the start of the season. It would if we let it go so late. Andrew Douglas says, if we don't want to play a defensive style, we need replacements. Graham says, he's been relegated with Hull. Who else? He's talking about, he's having a fight with someone about Maguire. Graham, I'll leave you to it. Cornish Maid, with the limited team we had last night, I thought we played really well first half. Graham messaged me before, actually, to bring him up and talk about it. He made a good point regarding Manchester United. Yeah, it was good in parts, but parts don't win. What was different to last season? I was at every single game. I sat there at Old Trafford, I watched games, and United and games have been great for 20, 25-minute spells, and Graham mentioned it before again. It's exactly what I was saying last season, in that 25 minutes doesn't cut it in the Premier League. It doesn't. You need to be able to control games for a good 2/3 at least. Yeah, there are going to be spells in games when the opposition get a little bit more possession than you. But United have lived off having 20 and 25-minute spells for so long now. It's not good enough. There needs to be a better plan. There needs to be a Manchester United which controls possession, which is in control of the tempo, and is able to make, chop and change the rhythm of the game, i.e. we can sit back, we can take a break, we can hit on the counter, we can control, we can high press, we can basically just pen teams in. We can give the ball away and let them do anything. We're Manchester United, for God's sake. We should be able to adapt our game in different ways for different opponents. When teams are coming to Old Trafford like Fulham are in the next couple of weeks, everyone's expecting United to take the game to them and win it. Like, we cannot act like underdogs like we did against Manchester City in the final, Liverpool, in our what was seen as a salvage season. And in Dan Ashworth's words, proof that Manchester United's manager Ten Hag is one of the top managers in Europe, winning 2 trophies in a row. Like, literally, we soaked up so much pressure in them games, and them games could have gone either way, and they could have. What would have happened if them games went the other way? Again, I'm playing both sides here because I was absolutely buzzing with United's performances against Liverpool and City. I didn't have a problem with them. But that's Liverpool and City. Against the Fulhams of this world, the Bournemouths and the Brightons and teams you're expected to win, you're supposed to go out and control that game. I know there's no God-given right for anyone or any team to go out and expect to win games. I know that. But when you're supposed to be challenging and playing for top honours, yes, you do. You do not get to the top table of football, of European football, by being an underdog and playing counter-attacking football constantly. You don't compete and you don't win trophies that way. The teams that win them trophies are the teams that adapt their game and have a different style of play for different occasions and moments within games and different teams. Look at what Ancelotti did when he completely boycotted the Real Madrid way just to beat Manchester City. They sat back. They soaked it up. Real Madrid don't do that. They don't ever do that. The fans wouldn't accept it. But the reality was, City have come on the scene, and then Real Madrid fans had to accept that they had to play a different way, and they got behind it because they know the next following week they're not going to play that way. They're going to adapt and go back to playing a different type of football. So that's what United haven't got, and that's what Manchester United, of every conversation about us being a million light years away from everybody else, that's the one thing that United are miles behind everybody else. We don't have different styles of play. We don't have a plan B. It's just not there right now. We don't think we have the players to do it. I really don't. I think Rashford can only play one way. Honestly, I feel like Rasmus Højlund fits in a certain team as well. He's young and he can get better. And now Manchester United have got different coaches in. Hopefully, there can be a plan B worked out. We've seen none of it in pre-season, which is why I go right back to the start of this video and say pre-season is a waste of effing time. It is a con. It is a commercial scam, basically, to get money in. The players, and Ten Hag, well done to Ten Hag, actually, in getting that tour done and over within 10 days and getting these players back with plenty of time to recover and get ready for the real football. He has stamped his authority all over that, and that's one thing that I will praise him for in pre-season, definitely, in not letting this drag out forever and a day. One of the quickest tours that I've ever seen Manchester United do. And you all know I've been on a few of them. So, yeah, I praise Ten Hag massively on that. Neil says, United has a revolving credit facility, so cash is not a problem. Financial fair play limits are spending. Inos don't want to go into it. They want to bring that down, mate. That's why we're not going into the revolving credit facility. It's not seen by Inos, and that was in a report that came out a few months ago as a reliable, feasible, long alternative for United. It's not sustainable, basically. So they don't want to go into the revolving credit facility because it's only going to hamper what happens in seasons to come, because we're having to pay interest on that as well as the debt that the Glazers have got. And the interest is substantial. So they don't, after paying a big chunk of it off with last season's revenues, don't want to go back into it again. So that's where that is at. I understand what you say, Neil. You are dead right, mate. But the report that came out was that they don't want to go into it. So United could spend big money if they wanted to. Are they willing to do that? It doesn't look like it, because we're standing firm with Bayern. They're standing firm with us. The same with Agate over at PSG. And like Kai said in the title, this is decision week. This is a massive week for Manchester United, because I think that they will have to move on to other options, I think, after this week. In certain areas, definitely. If Bayern say they're not going to go all the way, if they're not going to drop their price, then Manchester United, can we afford to take them to the end of the window? I know we're prepared to, but can we afford to? And this will be the discussion between Ten Hag and the recruitment team and the new regime at Manchester United. As soon as we're back at Carrington, and thank God, like I just said, we're back quickly off this tour so we can start getting into real football matters, because that's what has to happen at United. Lily said United is cursed. Barry says 2 players for the same price. Euro cost is a good deal, to be honest. Ozzy Osborne is in the chat as well. Welcome, Ozzy. We have a new club doctor, I believe. Baptism of fire for him. Can say that again. James says, I'd take a hit on transfer fees for Sancho and Anthony to clear their wages. United will wait a little bit longer. I think we have to accept that we're going to lose on both Sancho and Anthony. Try and soften the blow as best they possibly can. Honestly, right now as it stands, I see Sancho staying, because that's what I wanted to talk about with you guys now. Erik ten Hag is looking to move Bruno Fernandes and Jadon Sancho into that false 9 role this season to help with the attacking options and the striker problem that United have got. Seems a bit desperate, don't it? You cannot play that game with every single team. It worked against City. It worked in a couple of occasions in other games as well. I think we tried it against Brighton and Newcastle as well towards the back end of last season. And where it looks great in certain times, you know what? That's not the answer all the time. You cannot build a team around not having a striker. We're not Manchester City. We don't keep the ball. If you're playing a false 9 and you've got constant possession of the ball, it works better. As a counter-attacking side, false 9, who is your target man? How are you supposed to break quickly? You know what I mean? They're the problems. It works in certain departments. I don't want this to be Manchester United's way forward. Obviously, thank God we did actually buy a striker in Xerxes, and we have got another option. And when Rasmus becomes fit around October time, hopefully we can get him back and start trying to implement our style of play, a proper Manchester United style of play, onto games as well. We are not just a one-trick pony, a counter-attacking side. We cannot play like that. But I'm not against playing Bruno and Sancho at number 9 on certain occasions, false 9s. I think we have to be adaptable, like I said. And that obviously brings Mason Mount into play a little bit. So you might have a Bruno Fernandes and a Mason Mount actually in games, playing and starting in the same team, which we never thought we would see. So that, honestly, I feel is quite important to discuss, and is quite relevant to what's going on with Manchester United going into this season as well. It does look like, because it does matter to the big subject, which is the transfers right now as well. Because everything that I'm hearing, the Sancho playing his role, Ten Hag has said that Rashford's played there as well, so we've got him. Oh, God, them words really send a shiver down my spine. Rashford at 9. No, never, not in a million years. I'd rather Sancho. I said that earlier on. Bruno Fernandes is a better striker than Marcus Rashford. Honestly, I do fully believe that. I think he's got more about him. Rashford needs space and a room to run into. That's his game. He belongs out wide. He's a wide forward. Simple as. Rashford is 9. No. If Bruno goes there, Mason Mount goes there. This all leads to Manchester United, I think, not being able to bring in another striker because they're having to prioritise the other two key positions. Look, the fullback's going to take care of itself. Mazraoui in, Wan-Bissaka out. We understand that right now. We need de Ligt. We need the midfielder. I think the funds are going to have to go to that area to bring in 3 players there. Obviously, right back, centre midfielder. They have to be priority, I feel. And I think we'll have to sacrifice another forward. Don't forget, we've bought in Obi Martin as well, whose deal will be completed this week. We said that earlier on. And that is an option. It's a desperate option. Yes, it is a desperate option. Because he's 16, for God's sake. And you don't really want to be relying on 16-year-olds as your cover and your backup in big moments, especially when you're trying to get right back up there and trying to compete again and get back into the Champions League. You can't really thrust a 16-year-old academy graduate into that situation. Look, on tour, we were hoping that someone broke through from the academy and shone a bit like Mainu and Garnacho have both done. We've not had it. Amas has been good. Ten Hag has shot that down, saying he's not ready. Same with Collier. Collier has played a few stray balls and cost us problems in pre-season. Like, the last thing we need is academy players coming in, thrust into the limelight, under pressure like that, making mistakes like that, and then how they react from that, I don't know. They could go the wrong way. So let's take that situation out of the equation completely and not think about playing academy players as the saviour for Manchester United. They come in, and Graham made a great point about this. You want to bring academy players in when you're 3 or 4-0 up, but Manchester United haven't done that for over a decade. He's dead right when he said that. I completely agree. I've said this all last season. When was we ever sat there at Old Trafford watching United and felt comfortable? And we could actually talk to our mates. We weren't biting our nails or on the edge of our seat thinking we might throw a game away. I cannot remember when that was. Honestly, I don't think I've seen it. I'm pretty confident we haven't seen that at Manchester United. Not for a long time. Over 400 likes in the room, guys. Smashing it. Thank you so much. Keep them coming up. We should be able to get to 500, should we not? We've had close to 1,300 in the room with us as well. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. Make sure you are hitting that subscribe button. We are less than 100 away from 52k, so absolutely killing it. Love you guys. Keep them likes, keep them comments coming in. Inos are no different to the Glazers. Yes, they are, mate. They are 100% different, Andrew. I totally disagree with you there, pal. They're trying to get better deals and not be ripped off. They're trying to spend money wisely, where the Glazers employed people that weren't fit to wear that shirt or have that name tag or that job title, you could say. That's the difference. Ineos are employing real people who are experienced at doing this job, which is why United, like I said at the top of the show, haven't spent 60 million already on 2 players that are probably not going to be first team players or, when everyone's fit, first names on the team sheet. It sort of makes sense, doesn't it? It really does. But no, I disagree, mate, honestly. Thanks for your point anyway, though, buddy. Like I said, everyone's comments are more than welcome in the show. Even if you don't agree with me, guys, like, this is what it is on FUTV. Get your points across. I'll discuss everything. Never Harry and Lindelof, no more please, says Anna B. Been saying we need a forward who can get 20 plus, not players who got 20 goals between them. That's Christopher. Neil Walker also says, I've lost him. Oh, Neil's gone off my screen. Sorry, mate. I'll try and find another one. Chris Hilton says, we'll be gutted if Xerxes gets injured too. Oh, please don't. Really looking forward to seeing him play. Yes, please. I'm asked, remember me like Cheeseburger Shaw style. I'm not sure what that means, Lilies, but could Obi Martin actually make any appearances this season? Apparently, he was close to Arsenal chance. He is a brute for his age, similar to Pogba. We don't know, mate, James, but there's always a chance. If you're good enough, you're old enough. The age-old saying, isn't it? Especially at Manchester United. Never afraid to thrust academy players into the first team at the right time. Disagree, Adam. Thought Collier looked closer to ready than the mass. To be honest, wouldn't pile the pressure on him, but I'd like him to get some cameos. Cameos, Louise, totally with you. Honestly, I just don't think he's done enough to step forward and say, I am a first team player. But cameos, I totally agree. Like I said, I'm not saying that they aren't going to get an opportunity, but like we said, We cannot just put them on. And Ten Hag has done this with a few players. It's like, there, go and get your game time. We're 3-0 down and out of the game. Go and enjoy yourself. Fucking hell. Thanks, boss. No, I don't want none of that shit. Forget that. I want Manchester United players, the academy players, to be coming on when we're comfortable in a game and they can actually express themselves with a bit more confidence. When they're coming on in games where United are being dicked or underperforming, who are the role models for them players to come on and play with? You look at it and you got failing players on the pitch there, and then Ten Hag throws a youth player on. And it's like, what do you expect him to do? It's demoralising, surely. Yeah, it's fantastic that they come on. And you know what? Prime example of this was Hannibal jumping up and down like a crazed clown. Brilliant, absolutely fantastic scenes for scoring a consolation goal against Brighton earlier on last season. It's like no one was celebrating with him. That should be a joyous moment for an academy player to score his first goal at Old Trafford. But no one gave a shit because the performance was crap. And all the first team players were that embarrassed with their own performances. No one hardly went over to him. It was exactly that situation that I don't want these young lads to be going through right now. We have a little poll up before we finish. Have you joined TIFO for the watch-alongs yet, guys? No, 45%. Get onto it. The link is in the description, guys. One of my mods will put the link in the live chat right now as well for you. Please do. That is our watch-along platform for this season ahead. It kicks off next weekend for the Manchester Derby and the Community Shield, guys. So make sure that you are there. Make sure that you are on the link. Click on it. It takes you straight there to the platform with all of the upcoming games all set up there. It's I'll put it up there myself now. I'll pin it in the live chat for you guys. There you go. It's in there now. Thank you. Go and have a quick look at that. Dead easy, free, of course. Get involved. We bring people on. We talk. The watch-alongs. Me and you guys, everyone. Elite Baller says some fans care more about what rivals think of us over caring for Manchester United. I think the thing is with Manchester United, I feel like everyone's looking at United, and that opinion of opposite fans, mate, is just thrust upon us, and we can't ignore it. Like, we've grown up knowing that everybody hates us, and that's something that all Manchester United fans have always had to deal with, I think. So when it comes to that and us being bothered about other fans' opinions, we have to constantly fight off the banter. And you know what? Last season, I had no comeback. I had no comeback with any opposition fan because we were just absolute shite. And the only thing that we had was beating Liverpool and beating Manchester City. And thankfully for United, we had something to throw back at our biggest rivals right at the end of the season, and it was salvaged a little bit. And we're back in the Europa League. Actually got 2 trophies in 2 years. And yeah, we can throw that back at him. That's all we've got, a little bit of banter for a decent FA Cup run. But everything else, can you imagine if we didn't win the FA Cup? We wouldn't even have a leg to stand up. We'll be in any argument, in any pub or discussion. David says, United were really bad against big teams. We should be trying harder. Ten Hag not backed in the transfer window. I think he is, mate. Let's not forget, like, we're trying to get rid of players that he has backed and players that he wanted. We're trying to get rid of the likes of Antony. We're now stuck with Jadon Sancho because Ten Hag has turned it around again. We've got Rashford there because Ten Hag let him off the hook last season. Like, Eriksen is too old. He brought Casemiro, who nobody likes at the moment. And you know what? It's not just Ten Hag not being backed. He has been part of the problem as well as everything else. Players, staff, everything. It's been a combined effort that's got United where we are now. And we're in full-on recovery mode. It's going to take a long, long time. A long, long time. Dill says, once we get a reasonable bid to get most of the money back, we should let Mount go. I can't believe some actually think he should play at number 10 over Bruno. No, I don't think he should, mate. I'm with you on that one. I definitely don't think he's better than Bruno in that position. 100% no. And I think I do like him. I like Mount. He's a good player. If he stays fit, we may see more of him. We may. Guys, give the video a like before we finish up, please. We're almost at that 500 mark. Let's get 500 while we're live. That would be amazing. Thank you, guys. Please like the video. We've had well over 1,000 in the room for ages. In fact, near 1,300. You guys have absolutely smashed it. Again, I'm loving your contributions at the moment. Paul says, all money's to Jim as he can afford a new stadium. It's pocket change to him. The amount he is making over £800 million a year. Yeah, but you make 800 million, but that's not all profit. So it's all about what liquid assets and cash is available to Sir Jim Radcliffe. He has got plenty of it, you're right, mate, but I don't think it's in them amounts anyway. But yeah, his turnover is epic in his businesses that he's got. But that's not all profit, remember that. That's just the turnover. Academy players should be learning from first team players. What can they learn from the Deadwoods? I've said that myself a few times. Simon says, if he has another poor season, he needs to go. Who will buy Mason Mount? At least he's still young enough. I think Mount should be given a chance considering his injury-ravaged season. If he has another injury-ravaged season, what do we do, though? It's unfortunate, but we have to cut our cloth according, don't we? If he can't contribute to the team, should he be in the team? But then again, who will actually buy him if he doesn't contribute to United because of his injury record? Poor recruitment. Oh my God, poor recruitment. The Tipping Times. Did the watch along on TIFO last night, Adam? Signed up and all, but couldn't find it. Ended up back on your previous. No, mate. No, I didn't do a watch along last night. I haven't done the tour. I've pretty much just waited because there is brand new software coming out, which we are kickstarting for the Community Shield. Sorry about that. I should have probably told people. Thanks for bringing that up, mate. But thanks for tuning in and logging on, guys. But yeah, it kickstarts properly next weekend for the Manchester Derby and the Community Shield. So make sure that you're fully logged on for it. Then it is going to be absolutely epic. I'm not going to announce anything or say anything about what's coming with it until we kickstart it. So when you tune in, you will see everything that is available and you are going to love it. I promise you. Great experience. Trust me on that one. And that is tonight's show, guys. Absolutely epic. Loved it. And yeah, just to go over everything again, Manchester United have been set a price. I've asked the question, should Manchester United be spending 60 million on two players that probably, when everyone's fit, won't be first names on the team sheet? That's my little twist on tonight's show and what's happening in the United's transfer window right now. Let me know what you think. Adam, am I allowed on TIFO? Great, of course you are, mate. Only if you bring the Guinness, pal. And that's it, guys. 10 more likes to 500. I'm sure you guys can get them while we enter into our outro for this evening. Guys, epic show. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. It has been an amazing one. Mods, members, great job again. I will see you all at 8 o'clock with your early morning Monday updates. What is this week going to bring? Thank God it's bringing real football back. That's all I'll say. Good evening. Thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of it and what's left. Cheers, guys.